Are you an artist? Yeah, that's all fine and dandy. But remember, no one wants to be a Squidward. If you're an artist, you probably know this guy, Squidward. No? Maybe that's a stretch, but all things considered, if you're not Patrick and haven't been living under a rock, you still know him from your favorite 90s Saturday cartoons. This one being the beloved SpongeBob series. Squidward is an octopus, arguably so, who works at a burger joint as a cashier. But he is much more than that. He is an artist. Yes, he is also a clarinet player, but that's besides the point. That doesn't pertain to us today. Throughout the series, you see how Squidward masters various mediums from sculpting to painting. His subject matter is always the same, however, it's himself, and that's nothing wrong in itself, thank Frida. But there is something wrong with his person as an artist. It seems he never really amounts to anything. His ventures always leave him wanting more. Heck, he can't even sell a painting, so he has to succumb to eating it. And although Squidward's self-confidence is in his abilities, and they never seem to waver, you can still spot a hint of cynicism. That cynicism is the same fault that we as artists start to embody at some point during hardships, especially when it seems that the world doesn't understand or appreciate your talents. But I know what you're thinking. Lily, the world doesn't appreciate my talents, and dedication for that matter, to my craft. Well, that may be true, but have you given them a chance to? Do you paint tirelessly throughout the day, only to hang that painting in your room, never to see the eyes of the public? And I know what you're gonna say. You're saying you post on social media. Here's the thing, I don't think that's enough. Not for the struggling artist, who I suppose is you just as much as it is me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening in today. It's not enough for our eyes to quickly glance across your post only to be bombarded with hundreds or thousands of images right after. It's not fair to expect that much of a stranger online. We have to build the courage, if we indeed even have it in the first place, to try to truly stand out in front of the public in real life. Let them see our work. They may not understand it, or they may love it, but the amount of information we get from putting ourselves out there literally might just give us the epiphany we so desperately strive for. We can actually see their reaction face to face. We can gain visual and verbal cues and information, bringing it back to the drawing board and fixing the errors, tweaking in order to make our art better.
You've been looting the butter, and the light will view than me. If you don't do
now let's say that you have done the work. You have truly, in all senses of the word, put yourself out there and no one takes the bait. Does that make you a bad artist? No. Should it make you cynical about others and how they perceive your art? No. Just because a group of people do not appreciate your work doesn't make your work bad. But you know what makes your work bad? If you can't appreciate your work. And I'm not saying you feel you can do better. After an initial excitement of a finished painting, you will inevitably look back and feel you can do better. Even if it's at your peak painting, even if it's the best painting you have ever done, even if you are enthralled and amazed by the work that you have just completed, give it about a day or two, maybe even less for some perfectionists, and you will see that you feel you could have done better. So let me be clear, that is not what I'm talking about when I say it's because you don't appreciate your artwork. What I'm talking about is when in your heart, you know you could create with all your being, but you choose not to. You choose not to, maybe because your art is not in style. It's too complicated, it's not flashy enough, it's too simple, it's not sophisticated enough, whatever it may be. So you change what comes natural to you and tone down and even sometimes exaggerate things to appease to others and to create what you believe the algorithm is asking of you. And then what happens is you look at your fellow artists with envy because they thrive in what they do, and when you simply just exist to appease what you believe sells at the moment, it hurts. And the reason that it hurts is because it angers you inside that you have to work so hard to be able to create something when somebody else does it so naturally and is able to fully enjoy the process. So yeah, I would be cynical too. In fact, I have been cynical. But something you as an artist may not realize is that we all at one point or another become Squidward. We look down and believe that our peers' success is unmerited. But the truth is we can only look at ourselves. We are only in competition with ourselves. And that is freedom. Freedom to leave cynicism and truly accept our voices, our own personal, natural voices as artists. Freedom to dive deep into who we are and become the peak, the best, the summit of what we can be. And then the sales will come. And they will come not only because people who love you, love your art, will gravitate to you. The people that love that style will gravitate to you, but they will gravitate towards you personally as an artist. They will gravitate to your graceful nature, your true confidence, your ability to have a unique and personal voice that isn't drowned in the sea of others. This was actually a piece that I wrote, an article or a blog post in my website, which you can visit at any time. Little / self-promotion there, shameful promotion, whatever it is, whatever it's called. But it was important for me to write it down because it was important for me to remind myself and have a written record where I can go back to and analyze and understand that this cynicism, although it is normal, it needs to be nipped in the bud. If you're like me, you decided to go into this art career, this journey, because you enjoy doing art. So sometimes it's good to evaluate our personal mental health, our personal emotions. That way we are able to take away and discard anything that hinders us from truly enjoying the process of creating art and enjoying the process of creating a business and a career out of it. So with that being said, I drew this little mermaid portrait with fishes just to kind of go with the theme of Squidward, because this is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. There are so many life lessons, so many memes created from SpongeBob that really I could write many episodes of different life lessons that you learn throughout watching the show. And I really sat here and thought it wouldn't be myself if I didn't show you guys a little part of me, because SpongeBob is actually a big part of who I am. It is one of the best shows that I've ever watched. It's my favorite show that I've ever watched, arguably. It's probably, maybe there's another one, but that is definitely up there with them. And I kind of wanted to do a video that represented a little bit of SpongeBob in it so that I could, show you guys a little bit more of myself personally rather than just showing my art. So that is the painting that we have here today, and I'm so glad if you stayed to the end of this video. I hope that you have a wonderful journey in your art career, and I hope that you stick around for more. And yeah, let me be quiet and allow you to keep enjoying the rest of the video. You guys Have a great day. God bless. Did you really think that I was gonna leave you alone? Just kidding. I edited around and there was a lot of empty space, so I want to talk a little bit more about this painting. Especially this part. This part is one of my favorite parts when I'm doing a painting, the glazing. And that is also one of the very beautiful, priceless things about acrylics, is being able to glaze over it without worrying about re-wetting the painting again and smearing the layers that you have worked on under. And right here what I'm doing is I'm glazing, but I'm leaving the little fish, little antenna thingies that are going on, and the red fish itself. I'm leaving it out of it because I want it to stand out and I want the background to be a little bit darker. So that's the strategy behind that area. But this area right here, I just felt it needed a little bit more of yellows in the painting because I thought it was a little way too much just blue and red, and something quite, it just quite wasn't working for me. But adding this little bit of yellow, even though it looks kind of dirty and muddy, actually helped the painting a lot. And honestly, when you look at the sea and underwater, it is muddy and dirty, so I guess it goes pretty perfect with the painting itself. Alright, so honestly, another thing I wanted to add is when you glaze the eyes and then you add a pop of white color, opaque pop of white color on the eyes, it really just does wonders for your painting. So yeah, that's a little tip in case you guys want to try that. It looks really good. And I also tried to kind of add glitter and holographic paint over the fishies, but it didn't actually show up very well on camera. It's kind of one of those things that you have to turn the painting around different angles to be able to see it. It just reflects with the light. And on the subject of these fishies, I don't want to do too much with the goldfish. Yeah, they're goldfish, in case you were wondering. I don't want to do too much. I just felt like the emphasis was on the bigger red fish and the mermaid itself. So I thought it was pretty good. And I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at not putting details on every single part of the painting and more on drawing the eye towards the parts that I want to draw the eye to. So yay for me. This is a win in that. Also, it may not read well, but the bluish areas over the mermaid is actually her hair, and the darker parts that looks like black hair, it's actually the shadows underneath her hair. So yeah, I hope that you can see it now that I'm telling you, but I know it doesn't necessarily read perfectly in the video. But yes, the upper area, the blues with the different shades of blues, is in fact her hair, her wavy hair. also trying to apply a little bit of metallic paint to add a couple stars here and there and just some waves and stuff. But these are like little accent pieces that again don't show up necessarily unless you see it at different angles in light.